When's the last time you were curious about something? I mean, really curious about something.
And police are hoping someone can help them find her family. Now take a look at this video. You can see the sketch of the woman that police gave us just a short time ago. We're told she's about 50 years old, curly gray.
It's obvious to all of us that somebody intervened at some point, whether just prior to burial, transportation, or after. Somebody intervened. Somebody intervened. Somebody intervened. Somebody intervened. Somebody intervened. Somebody intervened. Somebody intervened.
According to Wikipedia, Economy is a borough in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, United States.
Somebody intervened. Well, that could be the understatement of the decade, but that's what police are saying happened. On or about December 12th, 2014, they say a teenage boy was walking on what I would call a secondary road here in rural western Pennsylvania. And they say that he saw something off in the not too far distance. He went to check it out. He thought it was an animal. It turned out to be a human head. There was quite a flurry of activity. There was a mobile police command center set up at one of our county parks, which was basically right across the street from where the head was found. And I'll be talking more about that. This is just an introduction to what I can tell you now is a lot of information. This happened in a place called Economy Borough, which Economy Borough has about 10,000 people, give or take, on what year it is. It's a bedroom community, which means you can live in Economy, but you can't work in Economy unless you work at a bar, a gas station, or a pizza shop. So pretty much everyone who lives in Economy owns a home, or they are visiting someone who does. Crime is not unusually high in Economy. For example, there's been one murder in the past 10 years. I might talk about that, but it doesn't appear to be related to this case at all. Now, the police are treating this not as a murder, but just as easily put, is something that they're referring to as an abuse of a corpse or improper disposal of remains. Now, a lot of people have asked me, why am I interested in this? Well, that is a good question, and it is a question that many people have asked me. And I will ask you a question back. If someone found a severed, embalmed head about a mile away from your house, and they had no leads, and have made no arrests in 2 years, wouldn't you be a little curious? So that's what this is. This started out as just a Facebook blog, I guess you would call it. But I started talking to more and more people who were interested, just regular people, and I started hearing some very interesting theories. And it's very fascinating how many different possibilities there are of how this head, this embalmed head, ended up a mile away from my house. So I want to go over all those. And it's not just me talking. I've interviewed people that you may or may not think of as experts, but occupationally, they have more to say about the subject than someone like me. This podcast isn't about me. I am not a reporter. I'm an airplane mechanic. I've done lots of other kinds of work, but I've never been involved in journalism or forensic science or anything like that. This is all happening just because I live here. So, if you check me out on Facebook, my name is James Madonna, but that's not the page you want to look at. The page you want to look at is called A Mystery in Economy, the Unidentified Severed Head, found in Economy, Pennsylvania. Or you could search for Mason Road Podcast on Facebook, and you would probably be able to find it. But if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you got there through Facebook. So I think you've already found the source of information that comes from me. Now, I'm going to tell you about some of the information that we're going to be talking about through interviews. However, I also have a tip line. If there's a question that you have for me, or if you just want to put a question out there for someone else to answer, and it's just a voicemail line that I have that is recorded. If I get an interesting question or something that I think intrigues people, I'll put it on there. I'll either answer it or I'll ask someone else to answer it. But that number is 724-494-4094. So, just to make it clear, I have no connection with this case. I had nothing to do with this crime that was committed. And 2 years have passed because I've sort of been reluctant to talk about this, only because I've been a little paranoid because I live here. They have nobody. They've arrested nobody. And I've been afraid to contact the police because just for paranoia, to think, geez, they're going to call me a suspect. But the fact is, I had nothing to do with this, and I don't know who did. So I've already made a Freedom of Information request to the Economy Police. I already have a response back from them. I'm going to tell you about that at a later time because it is very interesting. I've also been contacted by people that I didn't know who had information about this case that I did not know. I'm going to talk to you about that. I interviewed a woman. I'm not going to give you her name because she wishes to remain private. However, she lived about a funeral home for 3 years, and she worked in the prep room the whole time. I asked her 10 questions, and I freestyled a little bit also on that when she said something that I wanted to expand on. But it's about embalming. Where do you get this stuff? How hard is it to get? What's the process? Are there any special treatment of the eyes during this process? Because, as you probably know, the eyes were gone, and there were 2 red toy rubber balls where the eyes were supposed to be. How long does the body remain relatively intact after it's embalmed? What's the specific chain of custody from when Mrs. Smith dies until she's either incinerated or put in the ground? What role does the funeral director play in all this? What type of character or the type of person is employed in the occupation of grave digging or livery, which is a livery service is a service where when someone passes on, they come to your house or hospital, they get you and they take you to the funeral home. Also, I asked this woman who I refer to her as Morticia, only so I have a name to call her. I asked her to tell me a story about the worst thing she'd ever heard of about a body being mishandled in that setting. And you're going to be pretty shocked. So I have interviews. I have a lot of information. I have a response from the police. I have a lot of theories, and so do others. I have a tip line. I have a blog. And I have a phone. I'm doing all of this on my phone. I don't have complicated editing equipment or a sound studio, just a phone. And the software that I'm using is free. So I'm having some volume issues with that. However, I'm going to get that worked out. I'm going to streamline things a little bit and improve the product. So this is all free. This is just a hobby. And I would love to hear from you. And I look forward to putting this information out there and just having a good discussion and actually keeping up with the case as it goes. Now, I'm going to just tell you one thing today before I wrap this up, is there's a little bit more information that comes out, comes to light pretty often on this case. Now, there hasn't been any stories on this for almost a year and a half, but it did make international news when it happened. But now, there are no leads, there's no new evidence, there's no arrests. People just aren't talking about it anymore. In fact, if you do a Google search, my Facebook comes up as one of the top searches, and it's just a blog that I just started 2 weeks ago, so it's pretty exciting. But when I say new information, I mean things that I keep learning. This little road, Mason Road, it doesn't go anywhere. There's nothing on this road. There's just a few houses. It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't take you anywhere. So it's odd that this would have happened on a road like this, unless, in my opinion, someone had traveled on it before. Now, I'm going to give you more information about cemeteries in the area, funeral homes that are in the area, and there are a lot of them. But yesterday, I was driving by where this all went down, and there was a brand new cross in front of the field, like a small cross about a foot tall, and it had the name Ginger on it, and it had never been there before. So, of course, I freaked out, and I can talk about this at a later time, but there was someone that I could call who has access to that area all the time. I messaged that person, and they relayed to me that the name Ginger was simply the name of a horse that died in that same exact place. So it was sort of a letdown. I thought maybe there was something happening, or they made an identification. But no, it's just this horse that passed away a very long time ago, apparently. So, lastly, don't go to Mason Road. People there have been bothered a lot, I would expect. There's a lot of new no trespassing signs. There's nothing to see there. It's a public place. You know, if you're doing public business, there's nothing prohibiting you from driving down that road. However, you're not going to see anything that's already not on the internet. So, respect their privacy if you can. But that's it for now. This is just my introduction. I have a lot of information, and I look forward to hearing from you. The Mason Road podcast is written and produced by me,